Surrogacy plot revealed. Meghan was apparently furious when she was caught red-handed with a fake Archie. Hello and warm welcome to our Princess Diana news channel. Well, it looks like the feathers are ruffled. I received messages on social media from Meghan Markle fans asking me not to mention the S word. What S word? Oh, sure, surrogacy. The few requests I received weren't particularly rude, but I wouldn't say exactly polite. But still, the Sugars insist that Meghan was indeed pregnant with Archie and Lilibet. One person said, "Haven't you seen the gorgeous photos of her in the papers with Archie?" And then they kindly suggested that my mention of using surrogacy caused some discomfort. Whatever that means. Disadvantage to which, however, is my question. Before the dastardly duo traveled to South Africa with their 4-month-old son, word had already spread that Meghan was not actually pregnant, but that a surrogate had been used instead. And this news was received with joy in a school where a visit was planned. The teachers were absolutely delighted. It may not have been exactly the same as when Nelson Mandela was released from prison. Remember how Meghan told us they danced in the streets after their wedding the same way they did when Mandela was released? However, apparently the teachers at the school thought it was normal and thought it was cute that Harry's child was delivered naturally through the use of a surrogate mother. They were happy for Harry and greeted him with a message written on the board. Apparently, Meghan Markle was furious when she saw it. I wonder why. Unfortunately, Meghan and Harry seem to have a whole series of doors opening and closing when it comes to nannies, as well as other staff members. This means that there really is no stability in the lives of their invisible children. There is no one to bond with. If children were real, they would probably grow up very emotionally disturbed and cling to each other because they were all they had. And by the way, there are so many wonderful surrogates doing this to support people who can't get pregnant for one reason or another. And they keep everything involved in mind. And they are ready to face pregnancy. They are ready to deal with the emotional issues this raises for them as a person. And if Meghan Markle decided to go this route, as many believe, then I imagine she had the best intentions. He wanted to make sure he had a nice one. And for me, the biggest question is there any evidence that they have children? Maybe altruistic surrogacy was the plan for Archie's birth, but maybe the plan failed. I have the impression that in reality there are no children and that they are simply borrowing other people's children for photo shoots and intentionally making statements suggesting that they actually have children. Who could forget that bizarre setting where Harry announces Archie's birth outside the stables? Or that doll they presented to the media? I suspect Harry wore the doll because if Meghan Markle had, his fake mail delivery bob might have been pushed even further to the side than it already was. And then there was that little moment where Meghan Markle had to hold her breath because Harry had put his foot in his mouth about the kids changing so much in 2 weeks. It was incredible to see. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out on YouTube. I suspect the baby they wanted to borrow for their story was actually born 2 weeks early, which is why Harry said it. Also, if we look at the child's body language towards Meghan when she and Harry were in South Africa, I suspect she is not the mother of this child. The child did not address her as children of this age usually do to their mother. It seemed to me that this child knew her a little, and as for Invisibeth, there has never been more than a hint in the photos, videos and statements. Except the baby, or maybe a doll, that Meghan was carrying in a very strange way at the polo match. And then there was this photo with Desmond Tutu in South Africa. But in any case, what really strikes me is that these children were not photographed with their supposed parents, nor with anyone else in real life. The only time we get to see them is in these staged photos and videos, and even then the kids' faces are usually hidden and Archie's physical features seem to change too much for it to make sense. Other people probably notice this. I think the guy's original intention was to use them as props to market a children's clothing line and more. whose plans were ruined. And their secondary intention was to take revenge on the royal family, so that they make fun of and humiliate the family. And then, of course, there's always the possibility of the pleasure of being cruel and causing a lot of confusion, which I think Meghan Markle really likes. It would be very interesting to know the real truth about this whole situation. If the children are not royals, and if the royal family knows this, I think it would be a good idea if they stopped announcing birthday wishes to these children via social media. Otherwise, when the truth finally comes out, it will seem that the royal family has simply accepted everything. I don't think there are many people who don't believe that Meghan and Harry used a surrogate at this point, but the photos they show, we already know, are of Bryn Gringot's son. Now, Lilibet, who knows? The next sentence, however, focuses on Meghan Markle's sugars. You know, if she admitted it, people would respect her and her surrogacy platform, which I find interesting, taking care of a baby for someone else, but sarcastic, Meghan could never admit. If Meghan had had one or more children through a surrogate, she could not only have won points for her honesty, but she could also have received a lot of goodwill for highlighting the fertility issues that affect so many women. This would have been a win-win situation for Meghan. Meghan's charitable causes could have included reproductive issues, just as Queen Camilla supports osteoporosis charities, as her mother died from complications related to osteoporosis. And here there is also a new twist. It seems Meghan and Harry have spun a web of lies so complicated that at this point they can't afford to be honest. Because, you see, they need these lies to keep making money. That weird pregnancy with the belly changing shape, no mention of morning sickness, no fuller face, no swelling ankles, and then that strange observation Harry made about how a baby changes so much in 2 weeks when he was supposed to be a lonely child. A few days old. And also, who can forget the strange way Meghan carried Archie on that now infamous walk in the park in Canada. But Meghan caused it all with this ridiculous prank staged during Archie's birth. If Meghan had simply agreed to have her photo taken with a bundle wrapped in a shawl, there would have been no reason to speculate. Meghan said she wanted to be a working royal, she wanted to get in on the action, and whether you like it or not, Meghan, that's part of the deal, and the fact is that it matters. It matters if they broke the law and made statements that are not true. If they really had used a surrogate mother, they should have been honest about it. They should have made it clear that they knew their son would not be in the line of succession and that was fine with them. Nobody would have cared, people would have respected them for their transparency. But as it stands, they are deliberately defrauding the people of the UK and the people are not okay with that. And you, what do you think of this secret? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments section and we can also discuss Meghan Markle's fake kids. If you think my video is interesting, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends and family who might like it, and beyond that, subscribe to the Princess Diana News YouTube channel so you don't miss any new videos in the future. Now, thank you very much for listening. Have a great holiday weekend and I'll come see you again this evening.